minor spoilers ahead.
This is a little series that I'm guest starring on called 2.5 Movies.
So what we're going to do is we're going to review 2.5 movies, or 2 movies and a TV show.
Yeah.
They're going to be John Wick Chapter 2, Rings, and Legion. So, the first one, John Wick 2. Chapter 2.
Yes. That's what I got to say about it.
Yes.
I liked
absolutely.
it. It was fun.
It's a very fun movie. The first one, really, it came out of nowhere in 2014.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Keanu Reeves is really, whenever the movie comes out that he's in, you never know what it's going to be like. The first one was very good. So, we were all excited for the second one. I mean, as soon as we saw the trailer, we're like, yep,
the trailers were badass.
Gonna see that. There is supposed to be a John Wick Chapter 3. They've already announced that. So this is basically the second act of the big 3-act movie.
Is it for sure going to be a trilogy?
Yeah,
or is it not more?
Oh, I don't know.
Because
There's at least going to be a third.
It's not like it's like part 2 or like 2. It says chapter, which makes me think of like, you know,
well,
like
as of right,
book.
As of right now, they said it's going to be a trilogy. They might go farther later.
Yeah, but it's America. Everything turns into a franchise.
Yeah, can we get the 8th Fast and Furious movie? Don't see the next Fast and Furious.
Yeah, please don't. If you want to see an action movie, go see
John Wick Chapter
2. I almost said 3. Okay, pros.
Pros.
Yeah?
Yes. So the action sequences are as good, if not better, than the first movie. They're just fantastic. Keanu Reeves went through combat training for this movie.
I don't know if he did it for the first one, did he?
He might have. I don't know. But I know he did it for the second one because we saw a video on it.
Yeah.
He did 90% of his own stunts, which is amazing because these stunts are very physical.
There are actually moments in the movie where you think something bad, like just from the physics of what they're doing, something really bad's going to happen. There's a scene at the very beginning where like he's driving through this small garage and he almost hits the corner of a wall, and it's like that far off, like not even exaggerating.
Yeah, so much so that we were like, wow, the stuntman really almost hurt himself. Like, it was that close. But it wasn't a stuntman. That's the thing. It's Keanu.
It was great. Yeah, that was really cool.
The close combat is accurate, as far as I know.
It's
if we had $1 for every time that he fell down some stairs...
and got away with it.
Or got hit by a car, we'd be so rich.
Or shot. Or punched. Or he's a bullet sponge. The takes were great. Oh. I don't know if they were single takes, but they had some great long takes that were just like...
and the editing
perfectly edited.
Yeah.
Where the physics of the blood and stuff like that were just... really cool.
So the big organization that he's a part of, you get a much deeper look into how the organization runs in this movie.
Yeah.
You get to see more of the man who runs the organization, played by Ian McShane.
Yeah, he's always
awesome.
Great. Yeah.
He's the stepdad in Hot Rod.
How am I supposed to kill you if you're dead?
Yeah, so check that out.
Hot Rod, one of the greatest comedy movies you've ever seen.
Of all time.
So watch it.
Common is in it.
Common, yeah.
The rapper Common. So I mean,
is he a rapper? I thought he was an R&B singer, like R. Kelly or something.
I thought he was. You know what? I'd have to check that. I don't know. Yeah. He's a musical artist, but he's been in a lot of movies, including Suicide Squad.
I'm pretty sure he's in like a Medea movie. That might have happened.
The location was awesome. They filmed it in Rome. A lot of it in Rome.
Very James Bond-esque.
Yes.
Yeah, where you're like, ooh, Rome, ooh, California, ooh. Wherever else we want to go.
Right, yeah, the locations are great.
Wherever else.
You could see, like, catacombs and stuff.
I'm pretty sure Tokyo's in there, but, like, it's supposed to be Rome, so that was kind of strange.
It looked almost like Tokyo Drift, the very opening.
Well, it's like the city is very neon, and there's a scene where he comes out of the catacombs, and it's like a neon city, and
that
definitely,
too, yeah,
like... Or, like, maybe it was a different location. But it was cool. It was really cool. Yeah. Like, the fight scenes on the white subway and stuff like that, just great.
Oh, yeah.
Great art direction. Yeah.
We can move into cons now.
Cons.
One of the cons was certain characters were a little underdeveloped, such as one of the characters that John is tasked to go after.
Minor spoilers. We're not going to tell you who it is.
No, he's just tasked to go after somebody.
Yeah.
And that character seems very one-dimensional and underdeveloped.
They could have spent 6 more months on the script and made it like a really in-depth thing, because there were a lot of things that they did try.
Yeah.
And they successfully did it to a certain degree, but because the movie came out so fast, I kind of felt like it was a little rushed. Mm-hmm. For some aspects of it, like the characters.
Yeah, and some of the pacing was a little bit weird and
choppy. And that's like a result of that.
Yeah.
I definitely felt like the dog was like, I don't understand why they brought that back.
I know. Well, I mean, like, it's from the first one, but really the whole movie, he has the dog leaves it somewhere and then gets it back at the end.
It
was like, aw. One of the other things that I originally thought was a con, but then I changed my mind was Keanu's acting.
Yeah,
So I had Jamie and my brother and my dad all convince me that Keanu's acting wasn't horrendous.
Yeah.
Because at first glance, if you're watching it, like, to watch a movie so about, bad. Like, with good acting, it seems so bad. But then you realize that he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
Because the whole staple of these action movies is about the action, not the acting.
Right.
And he's, like, trying to be cheesy and corny.
It's like he puts a period after every word. It's almost Shatner-esque, where you're like, hey, you have a rough night? Yeah, rough night.
Yeah.
And he gets in the car and like drives away, and you're like, okay, that's what, if you want to know what he's like in the movie, that's what he's like.
Or like cheesy lines, which is the writings, and so he's playing it to like with the writing. But it's things like
it's great
when someone asks him to do something, and he goes, and this is in the trailer, so this isn't spoiling anything, where he goes, "Are you gonna start a war, or are you just gonna give me a gun?" It's just like, I started like, oh my god.
And then Lawrence Fishburne goes, "Give that man a gun." And you're like, what the hell? Like, what is this? I don't understand. He's a great actor too.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it has to be intentional because...
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne, by the way, Matrix Reunion, that's another pro.
Yeah, that was a pro. Yeah.
Fishburne is good in the movie. I hope we see a little bit more of his character in the third one.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to know a lot about him. And it's not like he's underdeveloped. Not a lot is revealed.
That leads me to my biggest problem with this movie. And that is that for a secret organization, everyone is in it. Everyone. The homeless people, the blue-collar people, what's the one? The white-collar people. All of them.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be super secret.
There's a scene in it where it's supposed to emphasize, like, how deep the organization runs in society, but it's like a little bit overplayed where it's like everybody's a part of it.
Yeah, right.
There's no exclusive nature to it.
I mean, at one point they're in like Central Park and everybody stops because they're being ordered to, because they're all assassins. It's like 10,000 people and you're like, okay, well, that's weird. I thought this was supposed to be really hard to get into.
Right, exactly. They keep referencing in this movie the impossible task that John had to go through, and you still have no idea what it is.
Which is great.
We don't know if they're actually going to, like, reveal that, or if it's just going to be like it was just a thing he did.
Yeah, and I kind of hope they never touch on it.
Yeah,
for me, I feel like that's a big thing for me.
There's like a two-sided thing. We were talking about this earlier. It could be that this is its own story, and that's from before, so we're not even going to cover that.
Because your imagination takes care of the rest. You don't need to know how bad it is because your brain tells you how bad it is for you, and that's...
Right, and
that's important.
We also get into the issue of if they try to show it in the third one, they might not do it justice.
Yeah.
So then you go, oh, that's disappointing.
From John Wick 2, we get the idea that he had a ton of help to get through that task. It would be cool to see how those things... like how that went, because everybody's like, oh, John Wick is a badass, and then everybody else is also like, yeah, I was there too.
Yeah,
John's fine. I'm gonna kill him now. Bye.
That is another interesting thing. It shows that there are assassins who are just about as deadly as John.
Oh yeah, I like how another pro would be like the bolstering of their physical abilities, like Kamen and Keanu going at it for the entire film. They're superhuman. And, like, you see other people just collapse. And it's like a tier thing. Like, the more skilled you are as the assassin, the deeper you are. The more, like, capable and indestructible you are. And I really like that idea.
Well, and it's very accurate, realistic in the movie when they fight. Because in the moment, they're fine. Yeah. Like, they don't seem like it phases them. Yeah. But later on, they start limping around and they're hurting. Because that's what would happen. Your adrenaline rush would make it so that it doesn't hurt so much.
Yeah.
And then later on, they're like limping around.
Which I didn't think he was doing enough.
Really?
Yeah. I felt like he was limping for all the wrong reasons. And I know that's picky, but like he was. Like, it was like he got shot at. He got thrown down probably 1,500 stairs. He also got hit by like 12 different cars. And he got like... I don't know, a couple bones broken by somebody. I imagine he got
shot at least once.
Yeah.
So throughout the whole rest of the movie, people are shooting guns at him, and he's disarming them, which makes sense. But in the beginning part, nobody has a gun for some reason.
But they were shown with guns earlier.
Yeah. So I don't understand why they were all trying to fight him hand in hand.
I love the concept of him, minor spoilers, taking a car and destroying it. Just running it through every person and every object he can because it's fun. Also, he has enough money to fix it. I think that's a great idea. It's just like the only way to actually film that scene and make it cool was to take all the guns out.
Yeah.
And that part felt rushed. I feel like, again, like 6 months could have fixed this movie.
Right. Well, and I think
to like the Die Hard level.
Yeah, this movie is on like a Die Hard action movie level.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's definitely better than the first one.
Definitely better than the first John Wick.
Yeah.
I'm partial to the first John Wick.
I do think but they also have different. I guess I shouldn't say that.
They have different benefits.
They have different reasons for existing. Like John Wick 1 is about this very personal relationship, and John Wick 2 is about this guy who can't die and he doesn't want to.
Also, the first John Wick is about revenge,
right?
Whereas the second one, he's forced back into.
Yeah, and the second one, it's more like I just want to go home.
Yeah,
that's it. Like I didn't ask you for this. I didn't want to be a part of this. I'm out of it, and you forced me back into it.
I think it's hilarious because he keeps going, "I'm not that guy anymore."
And there was literally just, like, ripping heads
a
off.
whole movie about why you are that guy still.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the other scenes that I had the biggest problem with was the one with the character that he's going after.
Yeah.
It's underdeveloped. It's just
so
a really slow scene that's
but
very
the set is
heavy.
Cool.
The set
and the ending of it was pretty neat. But like the rest of it, you're just sitting there going.
It's a little tiring because it's very dialogue heavy and it's
been
just
15
really slow.
minutes.
It feels like
15 minutes.
It feels like it's stalling.
Yeah.
For something else to happen. So
it's like they needed more runtime.
Yeah.
They needed it to be exactly 90
2 hours,
minutes.
Yeah. It's actually a 2-hour movie.
Is it a 2-hour? Okay, well they needed that full 2 hours because I don't know. Maybe it's like they had a surplus of money and they needed to make sure that they spent it so that they could get the same amount next time.
You learned that from The Office.
I did.
But yeah, so there was that whole scene where it looked beautiful, but it was just, it almost puts you to sleep before the next action sequence, and you're like...
It was like they gave you a breath, because before that, it's just like ass kicking, ass kicking, ass kicking. And then it's like this moment of like, yeah, okay, well, I don't know, just like take a breather, drink some water, do some stretches, and then like kicking ass, kicking ass, kicking... Just so many people dying. So many people dying.
The scene right afterwards is amazing, too. It's an amazing action sequence.
No pun intended.
What did I
it's
say?
It's amazing. The catacombs.
It's in a maze.
It's in a maze.
Basically,
it's a labyrinth.
It's almost like a maze. I didn't
It's great.
realize
I love
I
it.
did that. Anyway.
The movie and the pun. The pun's alright.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
I think that about covers most of what we wanted to talk about, right? Overall, we would give this movie a B+. This movie was not without its problems, but especially for an action movie, this movie kicks ass.
Yes, it was so much fun.
It's so much fun. Definitely see the third one in theaters.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they keep getting better, in my opinion. I mean, for different reasons. Like I said, the context is different. But like, this was just, it was good. It was watch it.
It's been getting fantastic ratings, which it should. I'm glad that people recognize that this movie does exactly what it's trying to do.
Yeah, it's not like trying to do anything more.
It knows
You're
exactly
gonna get
what
exactly
it is.
what you want. Even like the ambiguous nature of the characters was just in line with action movies.
Yeah.
So it was easy to be like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this movie's great. Our next review is going to be Rings. And you're going to see us in this same attire because this is 2.5 movies.
2.5 movies.
So be on the lookout for that.